Hi guys and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, my name's Katie and I am currently a third year English literature and philosophy student at Cardiff University. If you are new here and you like university content, travel content, when we're allowed to travel again, book content, beauty content, lifestyle content, then please don't forget to subscribe. The button's down here, I think, or here, down here somewhere. In today's video I'm going to be talking to you about what it's like to be on a university society. So I have been on the English Literature Committee for the past 2 years, so it's my second year. My personal role at the English Lit Committee is social media officer. So I'm in charge of the social media and basically advertising events. I decided to run for social media officer at the end of my first year when elections were taking place for the following year. I chose to run for this role because I want to work in marketing and I love social media, so I thought it was the perfect role for me personally, and it has turned out to be the perfect role. I love doing it and it's so much fun. But obviously being on a committee does mean that you're working as part of a team. You're not necessarily just doing your job description as such. So as well as running the social media, I help in planning events, in making things for events, like artsy stuff. Yeah, I guess that's most of what we do. As a course-based society, we personally run socials and organise the English Literature Ball for the year. So that's basically what we do as a society. As a team, we have to come up with ideas for socials, and this is honestly really fun because as part of a committee you can decide what socials you would have liked to have been put on. Socials are particularly popular with first years, so you can choose what you would have wanted to happen in your first year. For us, during Freshers Week, obviously we get to attend the Freshers Fair and sign people up to become members of our society. You get to meet all the freshers, give out free books. Well, that's what we do. We get books and we give them out. But you can do other stuff if you're on a different society. And then we organise some of the social events. So in Freshers Week we do a pub social, which is always really popular. The last 2 years so many people have come, maybe like 60-70 people have come to both years. And that's like a mixture of first years and other year groups. And it's just a good way for people to meet people on their course that they might not otherwise have met. And then we also run a coffee crawl, which again is particularly popular with first years because they're new to the city and they don't know what all the coffee shops are. And being in Cardiff, Cardiff is a relatively large city full of coffee shops, but they're all in walking distance even though it's like a capital city. So it's a good way to show first years around their new neighbourhood. And then throughout the year we organise roughly 2 socials a month. This ranges from quizzes to open mics to pub crawls, just going to the pub. Yeah. And then what else do we do? And then obviously, as I said, we organise the big ball at the end of the year, which is basically our main focus throughout the whole year. All the money we raise goes towards that. Being on a committee makes you really like focused and like target driven because you're like, okay, so I need this, this and this, so that I can put this on for our members. I've been really lucky both years that the other people on the committee have been like amazing, because I know some committees do struggle with people like clashing. The first year I was on it, so being on a society committee is a great way to meet other people and make new friends. Last year, in my second year, there was me and my friend Fern from the same year as me, and then everyone else on the committee was third year. So being on a committee is a really nice way to meet people in other year groups to you, because otherwise I don't think that you really get to meet people from other years that frequently through the university itself. So it is a good way to meet people who are a year ahead of you or 2 years ahead of you on your course. It always has its perks as well as making friends. I know that I took one of the same modules this year as one of my friends who was on the committee last year took last year. So at the end of the year when she finished, she didn't want her books for that module anymore, so she gave them to me and she wouldn't let me pay her any money. So, you know, always perks. Like free books for your course, which saved me like 50 quid, which is amazing. And then this year the committee has been me and Fern again, and then Ella is our president, who I'm sure you've all seen Ella before because she's also on YouTube. And then our 2 other friends, Molly and Gemma, which is great because I live with Molly and Gemma, and then yeah, Ella and Fern I lived with last year as well, so it's basically my friendship group, which works relatively well. And also because we're friends, we have a similar idea of what we want for socials, so we're kind of all on the same page, which is great. And it definitely helps if you're on the same page as your other committee members when you're organising events, because it means you kind of want the same things and you're aiming after the same goals and you're working together. So I'd say the main benefit of being on a committee is really learning how to work well as a team and being good at like taking a specific task you've been asked to do and like doing that and seeing how it fits in with like other things that different people on the committee are doing. Personally, whilst I sometimes help organise the events, I mainly advertise them. So even when I was on my study abroad last semester, the girls were organising the events at home and then I was still the one advertising them, so I was putting it in group chats on our Facebook page or our Instagram. So it's nice to see that even if you're on the other side of the world, you can still like help your committee and help those events do well. My job personally as social media officer, I've definitely learned a lot from it. In the first year I was kind of just posting stuff on social media, but this year I definitely decided that I wanted to take a more professional approach to it, so we made a new logo. I made a colour palette that we tend to stick to just so everything looks more cohesive, and it's great to see like your work paying off. So I created the Instagram for our society because the previous one that had been used no one had the password to, so I had to make a new one. But in the last 2 years I've made it go from 0 followers to about 325, which is quite a lot considering we only have about 100 members in our society, so we've got 3 times more followers than members, which is quite impressive, if I say so myself. But I've definitely learned like what's effective ways of getting people to come to events. I also think being on a committee actually forces you to go to the events that you're putting on as well, because obviously you've organised it so you have to be there. So you can't, I get quite anxious about going new places and meeting new people, but obviously as I've helped organise, I have to go to these events. So you kind of get, I personally get less anxious if I know that I'm somewhat in control of the event, and it means that I've been able to meet new people. Even if they're not people that I'm going to be like lifelong friends with, it is nice to like socialise with different people from different backgrounds than yourself. So I definitely say that being on a committee like opens up a world of new people to you, and that's probably the best part of being on a committee. I feel like this has been a very rambly video and I don't really know if I've said anything that will help anyone. But if you're thinking about being on a society committee and you've got any particular questions, like specific questions that you think I would be able to answer, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comment section down below or on Instagram or Twitter. I'd be more than happy to help. Again, don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.